each lineup, month after month, year after year. And I'd look to my left, look to my right, and there wasn't anybody that looked like me or
Mm-hmm.
came from neighborhoods like me, spoke like me, had
Right.
Christmases like me, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I said I didn't have any peers. So once I guess this captain had heard this, so up and close and personal, got to see what it would be like to be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, I think it was no more than 6 months later, after this nice conversation, they literally hired, I believe, 5 or 6 officers of
All
color.
right.
One of them being a female, which I was really really proud of.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. All right, fam. How you doing, guys? Welcome to this edition of the Black and Blue Podcast. My name is Dale. I'm your host. And today I got a very special guest for you. Please help me welcome in my man, Tyrone Hunter.
How you doing? How you doing? Good to be with you.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
What's going on? How you doing, Dale?
I can't complain. I can't complain. Thank you for coming in, helping
Glad
me
to
out
be
with
here,
this. I can talk to you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So we known each other for a long time.
I'd say.
Yeah. So, I thank you again. So what are you doing nowadays? You used to work where?
Over for the city of Glendale Police Department, brother.
Okay. Glendale, California. You were a police officer there. How long were you there?
24 and a half years.
Ooh, 24 and a half. That's long enough to have a kid and have them grow up and all that, right?
A couple of them, actually.
Right. So Glendale's like over kind of near LA, like north of LA. Where's it situated for people that aren't from California?
Just a little northeast of LA.
Okay, yeah, kind of.
Actually, we bordered with LAPD Northeast to the south of our city. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right. And you were there 24 years. How big is Glendale in the police department?
As far as personnel,
Yeah.
they're probably close to about 200 right now. Back when I was on, I think it was like 140, 150, somewhere in that area.
Okay. How big is the city?
What is it, like 34 square miles, I believe. It's third largest city in Los Angeles County. There's Los Angeles, Long Beach, and then Glendale. So,
Okay.
and daytime population's like a million plus. So there's some people come through there.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people come through there. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's the demographic of Glendale? Do you remember?
As far as a breakout down to cultures and such,
Yes. Yeah.
I'd say early on, majority white, Caucasian, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've had a recent, arrival of the Armenian community,
Right.
and that very, very popular, beautiful people. I had great relations with the Armenian people over there, and right now Armenians are in Glendale, and
Right.
doing a good job, I think.
Right. All right. So in 24 years, I'm sure you've seen and done a whole lot over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What sort of things did you do over there?
As far as police work and stuff like that.
Right. What sort of assignments did you get into?
We started out in patrol just like everybody else, and did a little bit of training of the new officers, and then after a little while in patrol, I decided I got sick of that and ended up over at working the burglary table for a few years.
Okay.
Then from burglary table, I went to our narcotics team and worked major narcotics for the state of California for this it's a task force called CalMet. And we dealt with with majors for methamphetamine and cocaine and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And then came back to patrol and ended up retiring with the medical after that. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
With the medical, how you feeling nowadays?
You know what? I'm glad to be alive, but I'm a little banged up after the years, but I'm glad to be alive.
Yeah, that's what happens to a lot of us in law enforcement. People don't realize that, just the wear and tear on your bodies that it puts on you. A lot of guys retire out just because of that. Your backs.
Exactly.
Your backs is one thing, carpal tunnels and knees and all that. And
I got all the above. I'm serious.
Well, plus you're a big dude too, right? How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6". So how'd you get into that car day in and day out?
I had my own little technique that I used, and actually I had my original partner that had may he rest in peace, Joe Andrews. He was literally, I think he was 6'9". So
oh, wow.
It was strange. He was my first district partner. So my district partner was 3 inches taller than me, which is pretty rare for tall guys that have somebody taller than you. And he taught me this: you sit down, like you're sitting down in a chair first, and then you swing your legs around. So I used that. It held up for a while, but after all the battles and being so tall, it didn't work out that well.
Right. Did you get a chance? Were you working when the Crown Vics came out? I mean, the Explorers came out. The Ford Explorers.
No, I didn't get a chance. I left 5 years ago, so I see them out there now. They look like they're more comfortable. Definitely.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you, because I remember a few guys in our department when they first came out. They were like, "Yeah, we like these a whole lot more. They're more comfortable, more leg room."
And I take that back. I remember they were out, but when I left, they were assigned to the sergeants. So the sergeants had the nice hoopies.
Of course they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I mentioned that we go way back. I remember when you went through the police academy. You remember those days?
Yeah. In fact, I got a little joke for you, brother.
Uh-oh.
You want to buy a pair of boots?
What's that story for our listeners and our audience here? What's the story about that?
Man, this fool. I was in the academy back in 1991.
The LA Sheriffs, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we were sitting up there doing our study session, and we're already getting yelled at and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I hear my name yelled out by one of the DIs, the drill instructors. It's like, Hunter, front and center. And I'm like, man, what is going on? And all of a sudden, I see this guy and our late friend, Dell, may he rest in peace. Yeah. And they're sitting.
Tracy, right.
Tracy. And I see them, their silhouettes in the DI's room. And all I could think is like, oh my God, what is going on? And they had me thinking that I was getting ready to get fired.
Right.
My heart's jumping all in my chest and stuff like that. And next thing I know, they came up to me talking about they wanted to sell me a pair of boots. There's some other stuff going on that we ain't gonna talk about that.
For real. Yeah, that was some fun stuff, man. That was some fun stuff. That was like in the early 90s, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 1991.
Wow.
Long time ago.
Time flies, man.
It does.
Time flies. I'm glad you made it out at least in, basically one piece, right?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, basically one piece. So you talked about you did narcotics and you did some other burglary stuff. What was your favorite between those two, narcs or burgs?
Oh, hands down, burglary.
Okay.
It just got to help a lot of people. I think I had my best capers there. Felt my most comfortable there. Narcotics is a good detail. Also, it was a privilege and honor being there, but it's just it's dangerous, chaotic, and like I said, my favorite table that I got to work was burglary. Definitely.
Okay. All right. And so you said you got a lot of satisfaction at getting people their property back. Can you think of a case offhand that really piqued your interest? That something like that happened?
Probably. Well, there was this one guy I remember. He, we'll call him TH. We won't mention his name.
Yeah, we don't need any names.
TH. I remember for probably 10 years when I worked at patrol there. I'd see him late nights over there in my district, and always walked around, had a backpack, I mean, it was like always 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd roll up next to him. How you doing, Officer Hunter? Nothing's going on. He'd put the hands behind his head and like literally, consent to a search and stuff. I'm like, man, I don't need all that. I want you to know that I'm not doing anything. And all this. I'm like, all right. But I kept beeping him, and literally this went on for a decade, and I knew that he was dirty, but nothing could happen. As far as investigations and stuff.
Now, was he a young cat or?
He was like probably early 30s or something like that, and I believe he had done some time for like a car burglary or something like that. So that was another thing that piqued my suspicion.
Right.
Anyway, came to Detective Bureau, and I ended up getting this report, and it was like this incident where they got like a kind of a description of the guy. And then I ended up doing photo ID, and lo and behold, they identified him. And after that, I said, let me go back and read some reports on it. I remember I got like 200 reports in that area. And lo and behold, I was able to piece together these 200 investigations. And we did a search warrant on his pad, and we got like literally, the first part, the beautiful part was knocking on his door.
Right. How'd that go?
No, it's like, search warrant, and he answered the door, and I as soon as he answered the door, he's like, Officer Hunter. I said, how you doing, Todd? You remember me? So we ended up going in there, and we recovered 6 flatbeds of stolen property from people in the area of Glendale, and it was over really a multi-million-dollar thing. And we, I think out of that arrest, I solved like around, we solved around 50 burglaries out of that. There's 200 investigations, 50 burglaries, and we got back all that property to all those people.
Nice.
So that was a good thing. There's a bunch of other ones too. So
like residential burgs and the TVs and stereos and clothing and all that type of stuff.
Cars and all that stuff.
Cars even, huh?
Oh yeah.
Wow. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's big stuff right over there. So, you were black. That's, one of the things that we're trying to do here on Black and Blue. We talk to, African Americans and other minorities in law enforcement. And you being black in the Glendale Police Department, what was the breakdown when you were there about how many black people on the force over there?
When I first came on, let me think. I think I was probably either the 5th or 6th black person at that time that was hired for the Glendale Police Department. So, yeah. Okay.
That was ever hired, or that was actually working when you came on?
As far as overall hired, I think I was probably, I'm going to say number 7 or 8 as far as overall history of this city. The department started in 1901, so. I think I was probably like number 8 out of all those.
What about by the time you left?
By the time,
how many on the streets and admin and all that? Are there any in admin?
No, when I left, we had a lieutenant, and he was kind of like that one guy that got up to the upper ranks and stuff like that. But now, post retirement, I'm happy to say that they've got 2 black sergeants over at Glendale PD, so that was some good news.
Yeah, real good news.
I was proud to say I had a little something to do with that too, so it was really nice. Yeah. So
how's that? How'd you have a little something to do with it?
Oh, it was years ago. I remember being called into a captain's office by there was like a department psychologist of all people, and I guess she was checking out how we were dealing as minorities in this, Caucasian dominated field. And she saw that there wasn't that many of us. Anyway, we get pulled in there, and there was just talk about peer pressure and peer groups and such. And I just, opened up to him, and I told him, I said, look, I went through my whole career, and each lineup, month after month, year after year, and I'd look to my left, look to my right, and there wasn't anybody that looked like me or came from neighborhoods like me, spoke like me, had Christmases like me, you know what I mean?
Right.
I said I didn't have any peers. So once, I guess, this captain had heard this, so up and close and personal, got to see what it would be like to be in that situation. Lo and behold, I think it was no more than 6 months later, after this nice conversation, they literally hired, I believe, 5 or 6 officers of color. One of them being a female, which I was really, really proud of. Because we didn't have any female officers on it, so we got I believe she's biracial female on there as well. And then we got 2 of the brothers that are now sergeants. So I'm really, really happy about that. So I believe that I might have had a little something to do with that. Being 6 to 8 months after that conversation, and we were low on people of color as far as the personnel, and I think they knew that at the time because I was in there by myself, and I think there might have been 1 other officer at that time on there, so maybe 2 right at that during the time of that conversation. Lo and behold, a few months later, we got 7 of us. So that's something to be said. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Good stuff.
They're good kids too. They really are good. I should say good people.
Right. Well, you can say kids. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You're one of the OGs, so you can say kids, but that's all good. You said you noticed that there weren't too many that grew up like you. Did you grow up in Glendale, or where are you from?
I guess you could say my teen years and beyond that, I grew up in Glendale. But prior to that, I was from the east side of Detroit.
Oh, no.
Yes.
However you feel about it. Detroit, huh?
Yeah. That's my hometown. Right. I love it.
Okay. You still got people over there?
Yeah, all my family's back there. I mean, we've scattered a little bit, throughout the United States and stuff. People move out just like our family did and stuff. But I still got a lot of people back home, definitely.
Okay. You get back anytime or?
Last time I went back was now 4 years ago. I had to bury some family, but I got to see my family back then. And then, things like Facebook and stuff like that, that's kind of got us, literally Facebook got us all united again after like 15, 20 years of being absent of each other. So we're all connected. And so I believe we're going to have a reunion next year too. So that's nice. So.
Okay. In Detroit or?
Absolutely.
In Detroit.
The Wallace family reunion.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got, we would talk all the time, because I'm from Ohio, originally Columbus, Ohio. So we would have back and forth, the 2 of us. And and the last time I was there, it had to been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, about the same as you to bury an aunt that died. So
exactly.
Yes, I know.
By the way, go blue.
Go blue. You wasn't saying that during the last OSU Michigan game, were you?
Yeah, I have to admit that. I have to admit that was pretty bad, bro.
Yeah, one of these days, Harbaugh got to get over that OSU hump, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. So
I don't think so either.
I feel for you, brother. I feel for you.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll have our day.
Yeah. Keep telling yourself that. So what sort of changes have you seen from the day that you started police work till the day that you retired out? Some of the changes in laws and attitudes towards police, attitudes from the police, people that you worked with towards the community. What sort of changes have you seen in your time as an officer?
Well, I came on in 1991, and lo and behold, just a matter of a couple of months or so before I got sworn in, was the Rodney King incident. And I mean, this was in the fire of it we're talking about. And I think when I got cut loose on my own was when the trial started. So, I can remember, I was already nervous as a new boot, get my first police car and stuff like that, travel around. And all of a sudden I hit this one intersection. All of a sudden some guy jumps on the hood of my car with a newspaper, and he's got the headlines, Rodney King, this is what you've done, and blaming me and stuff like that. And I'm looking at him, I haven't done, I don't work for LAPD. But, I understand why he was so frustrated and stuff like that. So, and then progressively we've seen changes as far as opportunities, upper management, and those things. I just, the availability of things that weren't available before. Slowly, just like all things in aspects in society,
right?
Doors are opening up, and that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, that's what this all is about. Changing attitudes. Because we got social media out there and all these things. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, of course, is justified, and we're gonna tell it the way it is. If somebody needs to be called to the carpet for what they did, I mean, it is what it is. They need to be called to the carpet. We're not gonna blindly back officers doing wrong, but 99.9% of us aren't out here doing dirt. You know what I mean? There's some good officers out there, men, women, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, all of us out here just trying to do good work. So, sometimes there's mistakes, and sometimes there's some bad apples, and we need to toss those bad apples out and keep moving. But that's what I'm trying to do. So, I hope that our conversation is kind of leading towards that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, what sort of pet peeves did you have when you were working? Things that when you saw it, you just like, I know one of my big ones is like, when you're doing a roadblock, you got the whole road blocked off, lights going, and people roll up and say, can I go through there? And it's like, I know you see. That was just one of the many things. There's so many things, but you got to understand, we want people to do something that we feel is, the condition, and they're just they have to accept it, so to speak. And okay.
Those are awkward moments and stuff, but I think probably the thing that I hated most, and I still hate, is following too closely. People, tailgaters and stuff like that. So I wasn't a big ticket person, but when I saw that, that usually would lead up to an accident, in some way, shape, or form. Trying to beat a light, and all of a sudden you stop, and the car behind you is too close, boom, this sort of thing. So I hit those pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working at a school now, so I'm dealing with a lot of these young drivers, and that's one thing that they do. Yeah,
I can imagine.
Drivers. Yeah, young drivers. So yeah, exactly. You got some young ones, right? They're not exactly young anymore, but how many kids do you have in your history here?
I have 3 beautiful adult children at this time. I got
okay.
I think Shane's 31 now, and he's 30, and then my daughter's 27, 28, and then I have a 19-year-old boy. So I've been fortunate, and they're all doing well, and I can't be more happy for all of them. They're all, and then the main thing is that they're all pursuing what they wanted to do, and their goals are being fulfilled. So that's the main thing,
Any of them looking at law enforcement?
Nah, that wasn't an option. Yeah, my kids, they saw what law enforcement was like for me, and that's the thing. I mean, I was very, very blessed, and I live a blessed life right now, I guess you'd say, for lack of a better term. I was gifted honor and opportunity to be a police officer, but as children, I'm sure they saw some of the struggles that I was going through. There was, I went through, a divorce as a police officer, and sort of things. I went through the internal struggles and those sort of things. So I think they kind of shied away after seeing that, and they've all found their own little niche. You know what I mean? And they're doing pretty well. So I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. And shift work and all that. You weren't home for some of the things, I'm sure. So that could take a toll on people.
I was a single dad too of these other kids too. So when they got older, I'll admit it, they were latchkey at some times, because I had to do what I had to do to keep my hustle on for them. But you know what? They came out all right, man. Like I said, my 2 boys are working in the motion picture and television industry right now, working on stage. And my daughter's she's a signed professional model. She's got a professional modeling contract. She just came back from San Francisco this weekend. Had a big gig up there.
Nice.
And she's doing celebrity hair and videos and all that as a stylist. So she's like a double threat, I guess, in the industry. So grateful.
All right.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. Yeah. Congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
I heard you mention keep your hustle going. What are you doing nowadays? What sort of hustle are you doing now? I'm just retirement, or?
I had a little post-retirement. I had a little health issues and stuff like that I had to deal with. And once I got through that here recently, I just got my studio back together, and I've been working. My intent has been to get back to music this whole time, but 24 years of working 60 to 80 hours a week, and then the days off, I had to be a dad, and also get some rest on those days. And then, then I pop my head in the studio, and I'm like sitting there exhausted, tired, and nothing wasn't coming through. So now, that I'm free and I'm well post-retirement, stuff like that, put my studio back together here in the last month. And we're getting that
studio for music, or
studio for the music, and doing a little recording and stuff like that. And
what's your genre of choice?
Obviously we're going to do R&B and stuff. Right now, that's what I'm working on. It's like, how do I want to represent myself, so to say, to music. I just had last year I put out a little a teaser song, an old track, and it actually did halfway decent as far as just getting the word out there. And I got some good reviews, and even like Michael Bublé and company and his fan club got a hold of it and gave me some, Michael Bublé, so it gave it,
exactly.
Gave me some favorable stuff. And, the song literally got played on every continent. And so, I'm trying to do that stuff post-retirement.
You mind mentioning the name of the song?
Oh, the song that was put out last year is called "I Want to Be with You" by Tyrone Hunter Jr. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can find that. It's still out, like on iTunes.
All the internet, venues for music and stuff like, Amazon, iTunes and stuff like that. You got it.
All right, that's what's up. So, what do you compare your style to? Your singing style, your R&B style. Is there anyone? You got a pretty deep voice, first of all.
Well, yeah, I had the history because my dad was a Motown singer pretty much his whole life.
Right.
So it runs in the blood, and so I have to say that my pops, my late pops, again, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Was my greatest mentor as far as vocals and such.
Tell the people who Pops was.
Ty Hunter. He sang. He was a Northern soul artist. He started out in doo-wop groups, not Monitors, but the Romeos, and went on to join the Voice Masters. There's guys like Lamont Dozier, David Ruffin, and Melvin Franklin from the Temptations. We're talking, they were all kids, 17, 18 years old. And then obviously they went their different ways and stuff like that. Then he ended up joining a mixed vocal group called the Glass House with Sherry Payne and the Supremes, Sherry Payne of the Supremes, excuse me. And then his last group before passing was a group called The Originals. And they had a couple of big hits everybody should know. Back in the day, Baby I'm For Real and The Bell. So
yes.
So we have a little musical influence.
Absolutely. Yeah, my mom loves her some originals and Baby I'm For Real. So that she used to play stuff like that. She was also into the 70s type stuff, Earth, Wind and Fire, but growing up, that was her thing. Those doo-wop groups and Motown groups. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. So all right. Let's just talk about where you decide you're going to be in the next 5 years. Where do you think you're going to be in the next 5 years? What's in your future?
Hopefully I'm healthy. I'm alive.
Yeah, we want that for you.
And good graces. Doing music, man. My last thing I said, I've had a good life, man, in so many respects. It's been tough in so many respects, but just here in this last week, I was just thinking to myself, man, I go from whence I came. I go, man, you are so lucky. So the last thing that I see, that I'm missing in my life is the music. And I said, if the ticket got punched tomorrow, I'd probably be kind of upset because I didn't do it. So that's the one thing I want to do. And then travel, man. I love travel. You know what I mean? So I've been trying to get that in, and I've been doing halfway well. So we'll get back on the stick this year too.
You got a bucket list of places you want to go?
Oh yeah, man. I gotta go see the pyramids. That's on the list. I gotta want to go see the motherland. I don't know why I haven't been over there yet. I think it's just I'm all worried about the food and that kind of thing. Food's got to be good, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. We all like to eat. We like to eat good too.
So I definitely want to get over there to Egypt and then over to Africa, and then for whatever reasons I want to get down there to New Zealand. And I love Europe too. And this year, in particular, I want to try to get in a situation so I can see more of the states. I haven't done a lot of the visiting of our own, state stuff. So, like in national parks. So that's one of the things I'm interested in. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward in the next 5 years. Is what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. So national parks, you do a lot of hiking. You get out and about and.
Absolutely. Like I said, I've been hit with a little bit of, I had like a little bit of medical issues in here recently. But prior to that, and, here now getting back into it, I was doing a lot of cycling and then hiking because all this right here next to my place is just hills and a lot of hiking trails and stuff. So I'm in a good place right here, but health permitting now. So that's what it's been. So I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. So
yeah,
definitely.
You got a special lady in your life? You got a dog that you hang out with? What's your free time like now?
My free time is dealing with my daily day. Actually, I got a little part-time job that I hooked up with. I ended up working for the state doing a little undercover investigations for them.
Wow.
And it's been pretty nice. It keeps you busy, gives you a few days of work a week. And then
stay busy. Gotta stay busy.
Exactly. And then other than that, like I said, just doing this music thing and then doing the exercise thing and doing the living thing, man. I don't ask too much to anything anymore because I've been there. I'm a been there, done that type guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So many times you can go to the beach. So many times you can go to the mountains.
Right.
So many times you can go to Disneyland. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I haven't been to Disneyland in a long time, but yeah, I feel you on that. I know exactly what you mean.
Always open to new experiences.
I know one of your other side hustles that you used to do back in the day is you used to bodyguard, right?
Yeah.
The bodyguard, right?
Oh man, I forgot all about that.
What sort of bodyguard did you used to do for the people out here?
I did celebrity and dignitary bodyguard for some pretty high profile personnel in Hollywood.
Okay. Wow. How was that? I'm sure you saw a lot of interesting things at celebrities, right?
Well, it was fun. It ran the gamut. I had, lots of clients, Christina Aguilera, Dixie Chicks, Matthew McConaughey, Penelope Cruz,
wow.
Snoop Dogg, Leonardo DiCaprio, Richard Gere, Samuel L. Jackson,
He wasn't cursing the whole way through, was he?
No.
Mother effing you.
What's funny is that a lot of these people they look so huge on screen, and they have these big, personalities on screen. But you see them in person, they're slight in stature. It's amazing. He's actually a short guy. Yeah. So
well, compared to you, brother, everyone's
I guess
stature, right? But in comparison to other people you've seen out there, they're kind of.
I guess I didn't think of that. Exactly. So.
Wow. Yeah, but that was some cool stuff. How long did you do that?
Probably half of my career. Like I said, I had a lieutenant that is a good guy. He took care of me up there, and he hooked me up with working as far as side gigs and stuff. And then I ended up working for it was, I think, at the time, the top entertainment management company in the world. And that was a good job right there. And they had music, motion picture, television. Even authors, publishers, and stuff like that. So it covered the whole gamut, and I got a chance to work with them and protect some of their customers and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you get to travel with them, or what kind of work was it that you would do?
Most of the stuff I did local and stuff, when in town type stuff. Most of the local stuff. It's just that.
Like when they would go out on the town or like to the Oscars or something like that?
All that. Yeah, I've worked all those Oscars, and I've worked the Grammy Award parties and all that stuff. Forgot about that and thought about that. I did those parties too.
Yeah, and you'd be one of those men in black, talking to to your sleeve there.
Well, yeah, we did those, but most of the time I was working on my own, and that's the fun part. But those jobs like that, where you're working with a lot of people, those are, they're good, but they weren't. I didn't like those as much as working with the client on your own one-on-one.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are my favorites. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, sounds like you did a lot. I appreciate your service out there, and like I said, you made it through in one piece, and you're coming out the other side, and you look happy, sound happy. You got some side stuff going on now. Family's doing good, so yeah, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
But before I get out of here, I got a little game that I like to play with my guest. So let me get this set up here for you.
Here we go.
No. Give me a second here. I gotta set it up so that you can see what I see. A game I like to call
Black or Blue. Black or Blue. Black or Blue. Black or Blue. Black or Blue.
All right, this game is real simple, man. It's called Black or Blue. I got a category for you, and you were talking about, that you used to do celebrity bodyguarding. So this category is going to be, and the Oscar goes to, basically fictional movie characters. I'm going to give you a name. All you got to do is tell me, is this person blue, meaning he was a non-black cop in a movie? You're going to tell me, is he black, meaning is he a non-law enforcement black person? Or is he black and blue? Is he a black cop in a movie? Right? So your choices are black, blue, or black and blue. Right? Pretty simple. A black dude, a white cop, or an Asian cop, or a black cop. So you'll get the hang of it as soon as we get to it. All right? So you see that on your screen, right?
Right. Let's go.
All right. So here's your first person, John McClane. John McClane. You know what John McClane is?
Blue.
Blue. That is.
There are rules for policemen. Yeah. That's what my captain keeps telling me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. John McClane is Bruce Willis in the Die Hard sequel of saga movies. Next guy is Rod Tidwell. Rod Tidwell.
I'm going to go with black on that one.
That is correct.
I love black people! I love black people!
Yes, Rod Tidwell's Cuba Gooding Jr. in the Jerry Maguire movie. The next person here is Alonzo Harris. Alonzo Harris.
I'm going to go with black.
Oh!
Yes,
he is black, but
go ahead, cowboy. You got mad
he's also
squabbles,
blue.
boy.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, you should have shot him.
Yes, Alonzo Harris was played by Denzel Washington in Training Day. So you kind of got the...
Love that movie, too.
Yes. So you got the hang of this. Your next person, Marcus Bennett. Marcus Bennett.
Blue?
That is correct.
There we go.
Yes, Marcus Bennett is played by Martin Lawrence. And the Bad Boys, the new one's coming out here in the next couple weeks. Your next person, Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian.
I'm going to go with black on that one.
That is correct.
You've got a lot of guys here after what you pulled.
Check him out.
Yes. Lando Calrissian is played by Billy D. Williams in the Star Wars saga movies. Lando Calrissian. All right. Your next person here, you're doing pretty good on this. Only one wrong so far. Clarice Starling. Clarice Starling.
That's definitely a blue.
That's definitely a blue.
What did Lecter say about the first principles?
Great movie.
Yes. Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs. Your next one, Alan Gamble. Alan Gamble.
Black.
Oh, wrong there, my brother.
I am a real cop. I'm working on a huge case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ever see the other guys?
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Will Ferrell. Okay. This one should be pretty easy for you, being from Detroit. Axel Foley.
That's got to be black.
Well, he's black, but
Oh, I get you. I'm getting it wrong.
black and blue.
Blue. Black and blue. Got you. My bad.
hence the name of the show, Black in Blue. Yes, that's played by Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop. In your last one, you only got 2 wrong here so far. Winston Zeddemore. Winston Zeddemore.
Winston Zeddemore. I'm going to go with blue on this one.
That was a hard one.
Oh, come on, man. I'm going to get you, man. You ain't right. Help a brother out.
Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. You got more right than you got wrong, so I'm going to call you a winner.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
All
that was nice. I like that. That was uplifting.
Yeah. All right, I'm glad you like that. All right, let me stop this here. All right, so yeah, man, I'm glad you like that. I appreciate you coming out today on this episode of Black and Blue. I wish all the success and health and all that in the future. And what's the name of the single that's out again for our audience?
It's the one that's out. I Want to Be With You. We got some new stuff coming out this summer, though. Stand by.
We'll definitely look for it, man. I appreciate you, and let's talk again real soon. All right.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. You too.
I'll talk to you. All right.
Be safe.
You too, man. Yo, that was a great episode we just had with retired Glendale PD officer Tyrone Hunter Jr. If you don't believe me, hey, feel free to click rewind and check it out again. But I really enjoyed the conversation. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Again, thank you to retired Glendale PD officer Tyrone Hunter Jr. All right, so before I get out of here on this episode of the Black and Blue podcast, you know what this segment is called. This is Props for Cops.
Give me my props, yo. More than a cop, yo. Till I master hip hop.
And on this segment of Props for Cops, I want to recognize the Honolulu, Hawaii Police Department. Now, Honolulu PD recently lost 2 of its officers to a shooting. Officers Tiffany Enriquez and Kawalike Kalama were tragically gunned down after they responded to a disturbance call. My heart and prayers go out to everyone at the Honolulu Police Department and their families for this tragic loss. But in the wake of that shooting, I want to recognize one of Honolulu PD's newest rookie officers, Officer Wendell Coe. Now, what makes Officer Coe's story interesting is he is a 58-year-old rookie. Officer Coe recently came out of retirement because he felt the need to serve his community. Now, what makes Officer Coe's story even cooler is his son Jonathan was already a 7-year veteran of the department. Now, that story is just dope. Usually, it's the children that follow in their father or their mother's footsteps. But in this case here, it's the father that's following in his son's footsteps. So I'd like to wish Wendell and Jonathan Godspeed and good luck in their young careers at the Honolulu, Hawaii Police Department. Yes, that is it for this episode of the Black and Blue podcast. I hope you enjoyed everything you heard and you saw here today. If you did, subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast, and you'll be notified whenever a new episode drops. If you want more content, check me out on all the socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BlackInBlueUS. Also, check out the website at www.blackandblue.us. Till next time, you know what to do. Stay black in blue. I'll holla at you. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D' Entertainment presentation.